What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I wanted to talk about something, a little bit, this is just, not gameplay today on this video. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about the upcoming Dragon Ball FighterZ patch that's going to be coming out with the tweet that Bandai Namco sent out. They said they're going to be nerfing Lab Coat 21. And, I thought it would be fun to make a video about different changes I would like to see for each character. Obviously, I don't expect... nobody here should expect changes for any of the characters, like big changes in the game or anything like that. I'm assuming it's just going to be a small patch or whatnot, but I thought it would be cool to just go through every single character and just, see if I can find some things to, add to each character to make them like a little bit more fair to the game, or something that I would like to see changed about the character. So I'm just going to go by, I have the roster pulled up here in front of me. I'm probably going to have some stream playing in the background, some kind of gameplay or whatever. But yeah, so first character I want to talk about is Master Roshi. Something I would like to see added to this character is, I guess just a quicker command grab, or maybe just a little bit more damage output on some of his combos. Because some of his combos, yeah, I think Master Roshi is one of the most underutilized characters in the game. But that's only because of how difficult he is to play, and just because you have to learn a completely new character essentially when you're learning Master Roshi. You have to learn, how to convert off of stuff in terms of just re-jumps, no super dashing. You have a lot of full screen tools. You have a lot of projectiles, a lot of stuff like that. But he plays the game completely different than every other character in the game. So I think something that would make him more viable, not that he's not viable right now, but something that would make him a little bit more viable is to make his damage output a little bit higher, and his I didn't really have a problem with his old DP or B assist, so if you make those two things come back, I think we'll see Master Roshi come back a lot more. Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. This is a character that is the bane of my existence. Dear Lord. I used to play this character back when I first picked up the game. I don't really have much to say about this character other than that he needs to be. I think the only thing that I would change about this character is his knee crush needs to be punished by 2H, and so does his beam thing where he makes 3 clones of himself and he shoots the beam and he says, "Find the real one." That thing, God, Base Goku. One thing I would like to see changed about this character, jeez, Base Goku he is, in my opinion, the second most ridiculous character in the game behind Lab Coat, obviously. Something I want changed about this character is Kaioken. Kaioken needs to be punished a lot more. People can get away with it a lot very easily, and there's a lot of steps to it. Obviously, I don't expect them to make any of these steps, but there's a lot of things that people need to change about that. Tien, I think Tien's fine as he is. The only thing that I could possibly see I would want to change about him would be, Tien is a really, really strong character alone, but the only thing that I would want changed about Tien, I guess, was super armor on his volleyball fist, and heavier or harsher scaling on his level 3. That's the only thing that I would want. Harsher scaling whenever he goes into more steps, kind of like how Krillin used to have with his Destructo Disc, but I want harsher scaling on that, or just harsher scaling, more damage to him, because a lot of people will just save the 7 bars, use that entire resource right there. I think that'll just make the character a little bit more fair. I think Tien's in a fine place. I don't think he's going to get played any more or any less if those changes happen. Yamcha. This is a character that I don't play as much as I used to. I changed. I used to play Yamcha a lot, but I dropped Yamcha because there's just not enough tool, or he is just not good in the current state of the game. Only thing that I think we should change is bring back the old Wolfang Fist. That is one thing that Yamcha needs to make him compete with everybody else in the current state of the game right now. Krillin, I think the only thing that we should change about Krillin is his beam. Make it more punishable. Obviously, Krillin needs that beam because it's a basic setup for all of his tools in the game. Krillin's a shorter character than every other character in the game. He has a really small structure. Everybody else has kind of wider range in terms of just their attacks, their lights, their mediums, and whatnot. Krillin has kind of a small, confined structure. So I guess just doing that to Krillin would kind of help his tools, or I guess making the game more fair in my eyes, because I don't really play Krillin. But yeah, that's the only thing that I could see. Super Saiyan Goku. I can't think of anything for Super Saiyan Goku. He's a character that I never personally learned or tried to learn. I think that he's fine. I think that's the only... I think he's a character that doesn't need any adjustments, any type of... any way. Alright, this is the character that I'm going to hit the hardest, and I'm thinking I want to hit like a lot of points on whenever in terms of this character, but Android 21, Lab Code 21. Let's be clear. Lab Code 21. Obviously, her command grab level 1 needs to be toned down. Harsh. It needs to be hit. I think they need to just take away with the debuff. Get rid of that debuff right there, and then don't make it invincible. Like I think you should be able to hit them out of it like a regular command grab should. Second thing I want them to touch on is her beam. I think that her beam is fine, the speed and everything like that, but she should be able to get punished like a regular beam, because even on whiff punish, it's still really quick where she can't be punished as harsh as other people's beams are. That's one tool that she should have. Also, the speed of her air lariat, that needs to be toned down. I think those are the three things that I would want to see toned down. Otherwise, I don't really know what else they could tone down about her, because I don't really want everything to go away with the character. I think the character is still going to be top tier, even if we take away those three things right there. She still has a lot of options. She still has a lot of great things about her. Pretty much the only things that I would want changed about her. Frieza is an interesting pick, because there's either one of two things happen. I think that either A, if they wanted to change the character and make him way more viable, they up his damage output is what I'm trying to say. I think that make the character like the most viable possible is up damage output and then buff Golden Frieza, make it stay throughout the entire game. Like as soon as if you don't get tired from whatever extent, but you just keep your golden form as soon as you spend the 3 bars of resource. And I guess they buffed it with the last patch, because like once they made it the timer resets more frequently. But if they just kept that form, I think Frieza would be a much more played character. Kid Buu, Ginyu don't need to be changed. I don't think they need to be touched on at all. Nappa, the only thing that I would change is the only Cybermen that I think should not be. I don't know if this is actually true or not, but just in case, I don't really know this off the top of my head, but all Cybermen should be able to be killed by Ki Blasts and whatnot, but only EX Cybermen should not. I think spending that half a bar of resources is the reason why you should, is the whole reason why you should spend that half a bar of resources so they don't get killed. But I think that, not spending that half a bar and not having the resources, I think they should still be able to be killed by Ki Blast and whatnot. Base Vegeta. This is a character I've seen a lot of gameplay of. I know I don't play a lot against it in the online community, because Base Vegeta kind of sucks in the online community because his combos are very airtight, very hard to do. I think whiff recovery on his rocket kick would make the character a lot more viable, a lot more played, not only in the professional scene but in the online community. Obviously he's still played in the online community because everyone's just gonna try to replicate what top tier players can do and whatnot. But I think trying to take away that whiff recovery is a key component of that. Broly, make a lot more of his combos meterless. I think because every character has, there probably is a really hard meterless combo to do with Broly. Obviously his combos are already ridiculously long, but adding meterless I don't think would make the character broken in any way, sense, or form, but it would make the character more viable. It would make the character jump up a little bit in terms of just tiers. He wouldn't go from I think Broly right now, S Broly, not Z Broly, obviously. S Broly is kind of middle of the pack. I don't think he's like a top tier. I don't think he's a bottom tier. I think he's just kind of like sitting in the middle of the pack, kind of like where Krillin, Blue Goku, Bardock are kind of at right now. I think they're all just kind of like sitting there in that time. But I think if they, if they made more of his combos meterless and they didn't really touch anything else about him, I don't think they could really touch anything else about Broly because there's not really much that you could change about him. I think if they just changed that, that would make the character a lot better. Super Baby 2. Super Baby 2 by himself, I think is fine. I think he doesn't really need to be touched. He's a pretty ridiculous character already. I don't think there's really much that needs to be changed about him, other than I think just punishment. I think is fine. I think just being able to punish a lot more of his moves, like the what is it? The Ki Blast thing where he like spins around. I don't remember what that thing is, but yeah, that right there needs to be, I guess, just toned down a little bit. Other than that, there's not really much to fix about Baby. I guess he's fine. GT Goku, once upon a time, was a ridiculous character. Now, he's fallen off and he's fallen from grace. I think the only thing that I would like to see changed about him is his assist. I think they hit him his A assist for no reason in the last patch. They just nerfed. It wasn't the last patch. It was like 2 patches ago. But they hit his A assist for no reason. I think I would like to, just bring that back. I don't think it would make that big of a difference. Obviously, he's not the most ridiculous character anymore. He's kind of sitting at the same spot where Broly is and all those middle of the pack characters. I don't think he's I don't even think he's top 10 in terms of just characters. He's annoying, but he's not top 10. Yeah, just that change right there. Android 17. I think a fun change to 17 would be I don't remember what the move is called, but where he like moves from wall to wall, where he like bounces around. I think if you sped that move up just a little bit, don't make it like super fast, like Blue Goku's shoulder bash, but if you speed it up just a little bit and made that move so you can like get more mix off of it, I think that move would be insane. I think that move will make him really, really good. Punishments, stuff that I would just want to see is being able to from Android 17, I guess the only thing that I would want to see is that. I can't really think of anything else I would want to see out of Bardock. The only thing I think Bardock is fine. They kind of hit a lot of his stuff early on whenever he first came out when he was top tier. I think Bardock is okay in the state of the game right now. I think I could change a little bit about him, just damage output, just make him a little bit more viable. He doesn't really get played as much anymore, unfortunately, but yeah, just that. Lariat changes, basic stuff. Blue Goku, he is a top tier. Blue Goku is, I don't care what anybody says, he's top 10 in the game for sure. I think the only thing that I would change about Blue Goku is probably just reducing the speed of shoulder bash. I think that right there, and then punishing. I think if even like, I feel like I can barely punish Blue Goku on shoulder crush. So give him the base Vegeta Yamcha treatment, and that whiff recovery at least should be harsh, because people will just throw that move out in neutral for no reason. Adult Gohan, I think they did Adult Gohan pretty good. I like Gohan. I like Adult Gohan in the state of the game. Obviously, I think he can be top 10 under the right circumstances. He's not what he once was with Kazunoko, Yamcha, with like that shell right there, the Gohan Yamcha shell that Kazunoko used to run, but it's still pretty freaking good. Trunks, I think there's a few moves I would like to see Trunks have. I think making him plus on a lot more of his moves would be good. Obviously, people think that Trunks is kind of mid-bottom of the list. Upping Trunks' damage output is something that I think would be really important to him. I think that I think he's one of the most I think he's, for how cool Trunks is, he's one of the more underutilized characters. He's, you know, he's one of the characters that I think that just needs to be, just if damage was there, he would be top 10, top 5 probably. But yeah, I think just those changes right there, upping his damage output, making his combos a little bit easier to convert. I think that right there would make the character a lot more viable. Base Vegeta, or not base Vegeta, Super Saiyan Vegeta. People don't really play Super Saiyan Vegeta for the character, they just play him for the assist most of the time anyways. But I think one thing I would do is for Super Saiyan Vegeta is give him a rocket kick like base Vegeta, like where he can go behind. So you can have those two options, making the medium one go straight forward and then the EX version go behind. That would be a pretty good change. Cell is an interesting one. I think the only thing that I would change about Cell is the command grab, just make it a little bit faster. I mean, every other character got their command grab speed increased. And then the level 1 reversal, I think I would change that too. Those are the two things I would change about Cell. Android 18. This is a character that the only thing I want to change about 18 is a nerf to her. I want her to not be able to cover up the entire screen whenever she has me in a corner. That is the only change I will ever ask of. Is whenever she has me in a corner, don't freaking cover up the entire screen. And every time I'm faced with the 18, I'm always just, I don't even want to guess because that's just a 50-50. So I'd rather just Spark, and it's the hardest 50. It's the second hardest behind Majin 21, I guess. But yeah, just that change right there. Android 16. I think the biggest change I would want to see for 16 is giving him full screen options. That's about it. I don't think the character really needs any more changes. He had his time under the sun in season 1. He's fine. He's kind of middle of the pack. I don't think he's bottom tier. I think he's still middle of the pack. I think he's viable in a shell. If you use him correctly and you know all the stuff with him, then yeah, you can use him properly and he's a good player. He's a good character. But yeah, that's about it. Majin 21. I just want them to get rid of that level 3 mix, the one where it's the hardest mix in the game because you don't. They just need to change that. The mix where she can either guess it's the hardest mix because the low looks like a high and the high looks like a low, so you can't. It's a 50-50. Same thing with 20 or same thing with 18. So that right there. Z Broly is a hard character to nerf because you either get rid of all of his super armor tools, which makes the character not viable anymore at all. I think the one thing I would change about Z Broly is, I think it's when he's, his jumping heavy doesn't need armor on it. I think his armor should only come out whenever you use an EX move. I think his armor comes out regardless of medium, light, heavy, whatever. I think it only should come out during the EX moves. That's the only time I think you should have armor, in my opinion. I don't play Broly, obviously. So, I mean, yeah. Cooler. Cooler's a hard one. Because his toolkit's fine. It's not the greatest toolkit in the world, but it's fine. Only thing I would want him to be, like, a little bit. I think the little things would be cooler would be giving him, like, just speeding up a lot of his moves, I guess, would be the only thing that I would get. His damage output is okay. His moves are fine. I don't think I would change any of his moves in terms of just nerfing it and buffing it, but I would just, like, speed up a little bit, make him a little bit faster, not too much. Janemba's a hard one because he's already ridiculous. I think getting rid of his assists, his A assist in particular, best assist in the game in my opinion. It is the best assist in the game because it tracks anywhere on the screen for full screen. It's an A assist, which means it charges a lot faster than a B assist or a C assist. It gives you a lot of combos and whatnot, so it is by far the best assist in the game. I think one thing I would like to see changed about Janemba is making Ki Blast a little, or maybe not even Ki Blast. I think what would be a cool addition to Janemba would be like giving him some type of, doesn't have to be a beam per se, but just some type of like something that kind of it could be unique. I don't know. It could be like him doing something through a portal or whatnot. But I think that he needs something that can give you full screen without being super dash, something like that. Another thing I would want changed about him is just nerfing his counter to not being frame 1 anymore, because it doesn't cost any bar, and it can counter all projectiles and assists. So I think that just needs to be toned down a little bit. UI Goku. Now, this is hard. I think slowing down his wake up option and buffing his DP, or just making the DP an actual DP instead of something that nobody uses anymore. I think that's the only changes that I would have. Videl, I want to see Videl be good. So this is the changes that I would personally add to Videl. I would try to make so she doesn't have a reflect, but instead of, dodging, I guess is what it is. Dodging, you dodge immediately and then get like a Ki Blast thing or whatever, and you get a whole combo off of it. Something like that. I just would like to see that. Also, making a lot of her moves not EX. I played Videl recently on stream for a few hours, and it was the hardest. It was the most annoying thing because all of her like regular combos, or just to connect, I needed to spend like half a bar every single time. So I think that was a little bit annoying. Just that right there, I think is fine. Making her Lariat move, or not her Lariat, I guess. It would just be like her 6H. Her 6H would be like a little bit better. That's all I would really want right there. Blue Vegito. This character, I just want 5M. That 5M. Slow it down first. Second, don't make it half screen as quick as it is. And then make it be punishable. Because I just see no other character can throw a 5M as much as Vegito can and not be punished for it. So yeah, just do that to the character. I'll be okay with everything else that the character can do. Damage output needs to be lowered down as well. That's about all I want. Blue Vegeta. I think the only thing that I want for Blue Vegeta, realistically, is the Big Bang attack to be toned down a little bit. Obviously, like, the character is fine. He's middle of the tier. He's middle of the pack. I think just doing that, would it change Tutu? I mean, it would change how he's played, obviously, because you want to be able to just throw a Big Bang attack out as much as people can, and you have to actually put some thought process. God forbid people put thought process in behind this game. But yeah, toning the Big Bang attack down is like the only thing that I could see them doing, or the only change that I would want for Blue Vegeta. But even if they tone the character down, or if they buff the character, I wouldn't be mad about it. I wouldn't really care that much too bad about that. Wow, I started on my sentence really bad. Please, nobody bully me. Gotenks. Machine Gun Punch. That move needs to be buffed. I'm sorry, that is an unpopular opinion. I just think for all the ridiculous mechanics in the game right now, Gotenks needs Machine Gun Punch just to be buffed a little bit. That's all. Piccolo. Hit him across the board. I hate Piccolo. Piccolo has got nothing but buffs. He's top 5. Definitely a top 5 character in the game right now. I think I would just hit his, personally, I would hit the level 1 that you couldn't combo off of. I would hit that. Just don't want to do that anymore. Another thing is, I guess the side switching is fine. I don't really know what else I could change about Piccolo without taking away his entire toolkit. But just the level 1 combo, I guess that would be the only thing. Maybe lowering his damage output. But even then the character would be top 10. He would not be top 5, he would be a top 10 character. And the balance of the game, I think, would be a lot better. This is unpopular, but Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, I think, is fine. Only thing I would nerf about him is just his damage output. That is the only thing I would change about him. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. This is a character that I love. I play a lot. So it's gonna hurt me to say this, but the Lariat. Lariat needs to be toned down. Doesn't need to go full screen. I guess that takes away all of his neutral tools because he doesn't have a lot of neutral tools to begin with besides super dashing and just jumping around until he can get close to you. But full screen options, he has none. So that's like the best way to get in with Gogeta. But yeah, that'll hurt me a lot if that happens. But yeah, that's one thing I would like to happen. Majin Buu. Fat Buu, I should say. Fat Buu, I think, a cool thing that they could add, because I played this character as well recently, Cartwheel. Make Cartwheel better. Make it an actual like move that you can combo into. Make it like something that you can hit people off of and stuff like that. I think playing that, because the only thing that people use Cartwheel for is the C assist, pretty much. I think Cartwheel needs to be a little bit more viable. Other than that, I can't really think of anything else. Maybe boosting his damage output will make him a little bit more played, but nobody plays this character for some reason. And, you know, I think it's just because he's a hard character to learn, because he's kind of clunky and all over the place. Beerus is fine. Beerus doesn't need to be touched up at all. I think he's fine for what he is. I think the only thing that I would change is just making his 2H range a little bit better, because his 2H is really, really bad. Just making the 2H range better is the only thing I would want or change about that. Alright, my boy Hit. Alright. So something cool about Hit is his counter. It's just like, he stops time pretty much. Hit's counter needs to be buffed, it needs to be touched up on, it needs to be just basically redone so that it's actually a good tool and people will use it more instead of just, you know, disregarding it, and people will make fun of the hit counter, essentially. Buffing that move, making it invincible, making it so that your opponent cannot punish you. Yeah, the air counter is very punishable. Give me a little bit of invincibility when I pop out from the other side, and then I can punish the other guy. So if I time a counter, I should not be punished, pretty much. Goku Black. I think the only thing I would change about Goku Black, damage output. Giving him a little bit more damage wouldn't hurt anybody, and it would not make the character broken either. It would make the character just top 10. I think it would boost him up a little bit, and everyone would play him a lot more because he's a pretty simple character. He has a lot of good tools. He has a lot of different tools, but I think, you know, just the damage output needs to be a little bit better there. Don't touch Zamasu. Nope, we're not going to even touch Zamasu. Zamasu's top 5 for sure. Jiren's another character that's a little bit interesting because Dododoya made the character really popular with the counters that he had, the try something counter, I guess. The only thing that I guess I would... This is unpopular. I don't think I would change about Jiren is not making his counter frame 1. I don't think a counter should be frame 1. I don't think a counter should be a reversal. I think the counter should be... I think counters in any fighting game should just be like a timing thing. Like, it should be like a neutral thing. Like, if you know, if your opponent's being predictable and you throw out an attack, then you can, like, predict that. But making a counter a reversal, I think is, you know, a stupid idea. Kefla. Ooh. Okay. Hear me out. Making Kefla's side switching tool, where she goes really fast, make that faster, less punishable. It would make that character so good. It would make the character amazingly good. Like, yeah, it would be really annoying, and I would probably hate the shit out of Kefla for it. But making that move right there just a little bit better and faster and less punishable, I think would go a ways away for her and make her so good. It would make her very, very unique and more played. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I have, pretty much. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. And as always, I'm Comedy Dak. Thank you guys for always watching these videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace.